At its peak, the British Empire controlled nearly a quarter of the world's land and population. Its ships ruled the oceans. Its armies fought on nearly every continent. Its language spread across the globe. People once said, "The sun never sets on the British Empire." But how did a small island nation become the most powerful empire in human history? And perhaps more importantly, how did it all fall apart? This is the story of the rise and fall of the British Empire. A story of ambition, wealth, innovation, conquest, and ultimately, decline.
As the fog clears over the channel, we see the modest harbors that were in time to become the heart of a global empire. Spain and Portugal controlled vast overseas territories. England was a relatively small kingdom on the edge of Europe. This route across the Atlantic will save us weeks. As the winds favor us this season, we shall prosper. Quickly now, the tide waits for no man. Secure the longboat and bring the provisions ashore. More timber for the south wall. Amidst the wilderness, the steady growth of the first permanent English colony took shape, a testament to the enduring spirit of the settlers. Beginning in the Chesapeake, the colonies rapidly spread, establishing a firm foothold on the continent by the early 18th century. Across the Atlantic, English ships carried settlers, goods, and ideas. Trade routes expanded rapidly. The foundations of a future empire were quietly taking shape. Britain's ports bustled with activity as merchants expanded trade across distant seas. Shipyards worked tirelessly, building vessels that would connect continents and carry fortunes home. New colonies emerged in faraway lands, extending British influence beyond its shores. What began as commerce and exploration was becoming something much larger, the early framework of an empire destined to reshape the world. At the same time, England's navy was rapidly growing. Vast shipyards produced powerful warships, armed with rows of cannons and built for global dominance. As naval strength expanded, Britain gained the ability to protect trade routes, challenge rivals, and project its power across the world's oceans. Control of the seas became Britain's greatest advantage. Its powerful fleets ruled vital trade routes, projected strength worldwide, and laid the foundation for a global empire. By the 1700s, Britain had transformed from a small island kingdom into a rising global power. Expanding colonies, flourishing trade, and unrivaled naval strength extended its influence across continents, setting the stage for an empire unlike any the world had seen. And its ambitions were only beginning. As a young empire turned toward the horizon, its fleets sailed into the Golden Dawn, stretching across vast oceans. A growing world map reflected its rising reach, signaling destiny, expansion, and the promise of future dominance. The 18th century transformed Britain into a rising industrial and global power. Cities expanded, ports grew busier, and factories reshaped the landscape. Trade networks widened rapidly, turning a regional kingdom into a force that would soon influence economies and empires across the world. Victories in major wars expanded British influence across the globe. The 7 Years' War proved to be a turning point in Britain's rise. Fought across continents, it pitted Britain against France in a struggle for global influence. Amid fierce battles and shifting fortunes, Britain emerged victorious, gaining territory, prestige, and a stronger position on the world stage. Britain defeated France and gained vast territories in North America and elsewhere. Trade flourished as British merchants connected distant markets across the globe. Busy harbors overflowed with ships and valuable goods, while commerce generated immense wealth, fueling Britain's growing influence and economic strength. Ports became centers of wealth and commerce. Crowded docks, busy warehouses, and endless cargo ships turned British harbors into gateways of global trade, generating immense profits and strengthening the nation's growing economic power. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Across Britain, factories rose above the landscape, steam engines transformed production, and new technologies accelerated economic growth. It marked the beginning of a new era that would reshape the nation and the world. Factories powered by steam engines revolutionized production. Massive machines operated with unprecedented speed and efficiency, transforming manufacturing forever. Goods could now be produced on a scale never before imagined, fueling Britain's industrial dominance. Britain became the workshop of the world, its cities filled with factories and rising chimneys, producing goods on an unmatched scale. From industrial centers to global markets, its manufactured products reached every corner of the world, defining a new era of economic power. Its industries produced goods on a scale never seen before. Vast factory floors operated day and night, driven by machines, engineers, and skilled workers. From textiles to machinery, production soared to unprecedented levels, reshaping Britain's economy and global influence. Railways connected cities, transforming Britain's landscape. Steam locomotives carried passengers and goods across vast distances, linking industrial centers and accelerating trade, communication, and national growth. Steamships crossed oceans faster than ever. Powered by industrial innovation, they reduced travel time, expanded global trade routes, and connected Britain to distant markets across continents like never before. Technology and industry gave Britain enormous economic power. Factories, railways, and global trade networks fueled unprecedented growth, creating wealth on a scale that strengthened Britain's position as the world's leading industrial nation. By the 19th century, the British Empire stretched across continents. Its territories spanned the globe, linked by trade, naval power, and communication networks, making it the largest empire the world had ever seen. Canada became one of Britain's most valuable territories. From vast wilderness and frontier settlements to thriving trade networks, it expanded the empire's reach across North America and strengthened Britain's global presence. Australia became a key part of the British Empire. Expanding settlements, strategic ports, and vast natural resources strengthened Britain's presence in the Southern Hemisphere, extending its influence across the Pacific region. India became the jewel of the British Empire. Its vast population, thriving markets, and strategic importance made it central to Britain's global power, contributing immense wealth and influence to the empire's expanding reach. Large parts of Africa came under British influence. Railways, ports, and colonial outposts expanded across vast landscapes, strengthening imperial control and linking resources to the wider global network. Countless islands and territories fell under British control, scattered across the Caribbean, Pacific, Indian Ocean, and beyond. They formed a vast global network of imperial influence. The empire had become truly global, spanning continents and oceans. Its territories, fleets, and trade routes were interconnected worldwide, marking the peak of British imperial power and influence.
Tensions mounted across the colonies. Disperse this crowd immediately! We will not be silenced.